Happy 2017. It's January 2nd. Just got back from the bank. Had to go to the bank for the gym, deposit some checks and a little bit of money. And this is what I want to talk about. It's the first of the year. Everyone's gung ho. We got New Year's resolutions intact. We say we're going to lose 50 pounds, 30 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever it is that your goal is. I pray that you reach that goal. But my New Year's resolution is, I have two or three, but I'm going to share one with you. I'm just keep it real this year, okay? I've been called out a couple of times about I only share certain things with my personal training clients and not with, the public or people or whoever. Well, I'm going to share how everyone trains, every trainer, personal trainer trains different. It's like a doctor or anybody practice or whatever. Every practice, everything's it's a little bit different, based on our beliefs, based on our our experiences and things like that. So put on your seatbelts, because mine is really like it's a big difference between me and say another personal trainer. For one, the physical part of it for me is like 20%. Okay. I'm talking about the workouts and the diet. That's great. That's important. That's supposed to be in place. But the most important thing is this right here. This right here is the reason why people don't stay on track, or they fall off the bandwagon, and they can't sustain whatever they achieved, or they can't even achieve what they want to achieve. It's because of this right here. And that's the part that's missing, because we're human beings. We're spirit beings. And it's like this, the body is only going to follow the mind. If the mind is in place, if the mind is determined that it's going to do this, X, Y, and Z, or whatever, you know what? That body's going to do exactly what that mind tells it. But we approach it from opposite. We try to do everything through the body and then hope the mind can catch up. And that's not the case, because it's like this. I wrote a piece this weekend. It's called Self-Image, okay? And it's about self-image. And how I came to this revelation is, some of you know my story. Years ago, I was in drug addiction and homeless in New York and Jersey. And what woke me up, and, Christ changed my life. What woke me up and made that decision to give my life to Christ and just totally drop everything was a self-image. Because I wasn't raised that way. I was raised in a family business. I was raised with a silver spoon in my mouth. I mean, I worked every single day ever since I can remember. And that's the way my dad raised me. And I woke up one day, I said, you know what? This is not me. And when I made that decision that this is not me, automatically everything just changed. And then I turned my life over to Christ, and then I became a whole new creature. That's my story. That's my testimony. But that's what I mean about self-image. If you're working out, grinding every single day, and you don't believe that that's you, for number one, if you believe you're an athlete, when I mean believe it, I don't mean just say it in your mind, I'm an athlete. I'm not talking about affirmations that's just in the mind and not in the heart. If you believe in your heart that you're an athlete, you know what? You're going to behave like one. And when you start behaving like one, guess what's going to happen? Your body's going to change into one just by default. It's just going to happen, because that's your behavior. Okay? That's your self-image. The way you see yourself is the way you're going to behave on a consistent basis. I'll give you another example. When I look up a word that's powerful to me, I want to find out what the definition is, what that word means, because the meaning of word is important. Okay? Like actor. An actor is a person who behaves in a way that's not genuine. Now, a person that's in Hollywood, a person that act in plays, that's not really them. They just behave. They just acting a role. They can't act like that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 360 days a year. Eventually, they're going to start going back to their selves, their self-image of who they really are. Okay? And that's what we do as far as working out and things like that. Well, you know what? Eating right eating right and working out is really not yourself. If it's not your self-image, you're not going to do it for long. So what I tap into is how to change the self-image of a person, that you believe something, that you believe it now, that you are this, and guess what? You're going to become that. All right. Now it's 3 ways, and I wrote down these 3 ways. Okay. And I got this on my website and my blog. Okay. I'm share 3 things we need to work on. Okay. To not only just achieve your fitness goals, but when you reach them, that it be sustainable. In other words, you be doing it for years and years and years. You're not falling off the wagon and jumping back on, falling off the wagon, jumping back on. You know what? Because if you don't do it, if you don't change your self-image in 2 or 3 weeks on February, you're going to fall off the bandwagon. Then you're going to start the same process all over again in 2018. So, number 1, okay, get rid of negative thoughts. Okay. What I mean by get rid of negative thoughts, you have to think of positive things all the time. One thing we tend to do as human beings, we always focus on the negative. We all have positive and negatives in our lives. I don't care if you're rich, poor, I don't care where you come from. It's always a negative side and a bad side, a negative side and a positive side. We tend to always default and focus on negative just by, our human nature. Always focus on the positive, okay? So know that you can do it. All right. Don't just think you can do it. Don't just say, I asked a person, what are their fitness goals? They say, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose 15, 20 pounds, whatever it may be. And then they say, okay, we're going to go for it. They're going to say, yeah, well, I'm going to try. No, you don't try. You say, I'm going to do it. That's positive thinking. Okay. If you don't believe it, it ain't going to happen. For number 1, you got to convince yourself that it's going to happen, because as soon as a hiccup comes, as soon as a bump in the road, you're going to say, well, I couldn't do it anyway. I knew it wasn't going to happen. That's not for me. I'm not like that guy or that girl over there. No, keep it positive. Okay. Watch what you say. And that goes into number 2. Watch what you say. In other words, speak only positive words. Okay. When you speak things in reality, all right, you'd be surprised how powerful words are. Okay, the Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. All right, so think what you say before you say it, and before you put it out there in that universe, before you put that vibration out there and it goes back into your ears. Sometimes in the morning I don't feel like doing something. I gotta preach myself to doing it. I gotta preach myself where I'm joyful. You preach to yourself long enough with words, eventually you're gonna start believing it. Okay. Number 3, okay, change your belief system. How you change your belief system? What is your belief system? Your belief system is your heart, okay? What you totally believe to the core, all right? That's your belief system. If you don't believe something to the core, then it's not going to happen. Like, for example, I know it's raining. I know the sky is gray. Well, I mean, I believe that. You can't tell me that it's not true, because I believe it. It's no. I mean, number 3, okay, change your belief system. If a person say, if the sky is blue, all right, and people say, well, you know what, the sky is not blue, it's pink. Well, can't nobody tell you any different, because the sky is blue. You wouldn't even argue with them. You'd be like, you're crazy. That's a belief system, because you know deep down in your heart that the sky is blue. Same thing. If you're going to lose 50 pounds and you're going to do it in your heart and nobody can tell you any different, when you got it in your core, in your very being, a belief system is feeling, you can feel it, then you're going to achieve it. Believe me, you will not fail. Okay, so it's those three things that we need to start to work on. We need to get the mind right first. Remember, we're going to work on this right here, and it will manifest this right here. Okay, it'll manifest into the body once you get your mind right. That's most important.